All right, so when we look at this functional skills question, it's all about shape and stuff. Annoyingly, I'd like to zoom in, but as you can see, it potentially actually gets harder to read when you zoom in because it goes all pixelated. Not sure why that's true for this particular question, but there it is. So unfortunately, it is going to be really small this time. But I'll read it through. Here is a regular hexagon. Draw all the lines of symmetry on the regular hexagon. Now let's pause there. I'm going to go back in again because perhaps we can make the hexagon a bit easier to see. Now you might be able to spot one of the lines of symmetry fairly easily. It's the one that goes right down the middle, like this. When we connect up those 2 points, that's a line of symmetry because that side is the same as that side. But we can actually do the same, connecting all the opposite corners, like this. So again, that down there is the same as this up here, so that's a line of symmetry. And if we connect up the last 2 opposite corners, like this, again, that's a line of symmetry because that up there is the same as this down here. Now, there's another line of symmetry you might have thought of, which is across the middle, because that top is the same as the bottom. And again, if we connect up the middle of each of the opposite sides, so like here, actually I'm going to have to be quite careful, here and here, that's a line of symmetry. And finally, the last one is if we connect here with here. And now that I've drawn them in, as I'm drawing them in, you can probably tell that they're a line of symmetry because each opposite side across each side of line of symmetry, they're the same. So those are all the lines of symmetry of the hexagon, quite a lot. Now it's asking what type of angle is angle X? And it's a little bit harder to see now that I've covered it with a line, but it's this angle here. Now, a quick reminder what each of these things are. A right angle is a corner like that, like on a piece of paper. A reflex angle is one that goes more than 180, round like this. An acute angle is small, so less than 90, because it's a cute angle if it's little. And an obtuse angle is more than 90, but less than 180. So which of those is angle X? It's an obtuse angle, because it's not a right angle, it's not big enough to be reflex, and it's too big to be acute. Now there's the big question, the big part of this question. Karen is making a birthday cake. The top of the cake will be triangular with one side of length 10 centimeters, one side of length 12 centimeters, and a 90-degree angle between these sides. So it's a right angle triangle. Draw the top of the cake for Karen. Now I find this very frustrating. They've given us a square, a 4-sided shape, to make a triangle out of. But we can get around that by just making sure that one of those corners is just on a straight line with the other 2, because then it's like it doesn't count. We don't have to think about it because it's out of the way, sort of. But, so we know it's going to be a right angle triangle, so it's going to look something like this or something like that. But the sides need to be the lengths they tell us. So just reading it through again, the top of the cake will be triangular with one side of length 10 and one side of length 12 centimeters. So we need a 10 centimeter side and a 12 centimeter side. The key here says that one square on the grid represents 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters on the cake. So every little line on this grid, was it bad? Maybe for the triangle we can keep it zoomed in. Get rid of all these notes. So one square on this grid is 2 centimeters, and we need to make a triangle that's got a 10 centimeter side and a 12 centimeter side. So let's check this left-hand side out at the moment. At the moment, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 centimeters. So actually that one's already 10 centimeters. It's 5 squares, and each square is 2, which means 5 squares actually represents 10 centimeters. And then across the bottom, this can be our one that's supposed to be 12. At the moment, it is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if I just take it one further, now it's 12. So it's always a good idea to go back to the question and just check we've done what it asked. The top of the cake is triangular, good, with one side of length 10. Yeah, and then we can just check 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And one side of length 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and a 90-degree angle between those sides. So the triangle fits the criteria and we've answered the question. Good.